966.
We are very delighted to welcome onto the 966 Abdullah Alshamrani, General Manager of the Center of Digital Entrepreneurship, known by the acronym CODE at the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology, MCIT. Abdullah leads the center, which is tasked with accelerating the growth of the digital economy and the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Saudi Arabia, supporting entrepreneurs at every stage of their journey. Abdullah, welcome onto the 966. Nice to speak with you.
Same here. Thank you so much. Really excited for this session, and thanks for the invitation. Happy to meet you all, and excited to share a few information about the kingdom and entrepreneurship scene in the kingdom.
We're excited too, Abdullah. I feel like we're old friends. We're actually, this is the first time we're talking, but I feel like we're old friends. And that's sort of how it works sometimes when you're trying to match up schedules and that sort of thing. We started communicating back in the summer. When I first discovered you and doing this, fascinating, as general manager of CODE, in the heart of the Ministry of Communications, Information Technology, sort of right in the middle of so many exciting things going in Saudi Arabia. So we are really, truly delighted that we get to have you come on the 966. And we're always interested to hear about your journey. As Lucian mentioned in the preamble when we were chatting, you're another one of our wonderful guests who studied in the U.S. But can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into, this entrepreneurship and in the digital space and all the exciting things you're doing now?
Absolutely. So, in 2013, I think during that time, I get passionate about technology, business, and innovation. It's part of, my personality, actually. And I was part of two startups that founded at that time. And they're all like around innovation, entrepreneurship, and business. So I got more excited about, I wanted to do something more in this field. I did my master in Ohio, actually, at Cleveland State University. I got to know a lot of, entrepreneurs and really exciting people in the US. And especially, I saw the growth of technology and the new technology happening during that time. And since then, I have been following what's happening in the markets. That's what got me more excited to continue and pursue my journey in this field. At that time, I was more an entrepreneur and trying to build ventures. But today, I'm in the other side of the table where I help entrepreneurs and support them, try to give them the enablement support, because I have been through this journey. So I know how hard it is. I know how difficult it is. So I'm now on the other side trying to support those entrepreneurs, help them to build, innovative solutions that can, grow and can be successful in the future.
Well, and this is a big element of what Vision 2030 is trying to achieve, is trying to sort of incubate, cultivate, promote startups and entrepreneurship and diversifying the economy. Can you tell us a little bit about CODE? I mean, it's the Center of Digital Entrepreneurship. It's actually, and we'll put up the website. It's quite fascinating, the dashboard you have and the information you have, the initiatives you have. But can you tell the story, because it's really interesting.
Absolutely. I have three versions of this, answer. I can speak for hours, actually. But I'll try to make it a little bit short. But give me time just to go a little bit about what we do and how we do our work. So I just want to start with why do we exist. So CODE is a center of digital entrepreneurship that support entrepreneurs in very early stages. We're trying to equip them with the right tools, skills for them to build innovative technology solutions and help them, grow and sustain them in our market. But before going into what we do to support our entrepreneurs, I want to start with the goals. So why do we exist? The kingdom has been focusing on oils for years, as you know. And since this vision of 2030 has started, and it put a big vision and objective for us to perhaps contribute more to our GDP through SMEs and through small and medium enterprises that include tech and non-tech. But given that we're under MCIT and Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, we're very passionate about tech, and we see the potential opportunity for technology. So the growth of technology, the speed of of the growth and how it will be quickly, accessing big markets and other markets. So we're very focusing on tech. The ultimate goal here is to achieve 30% contribution from SMEs, again, from tech and tech to our GDP. At that time, the percentage were around 26% contribution to our GDP, and now by 2030, we're aiming to achieve 35% of GDP. In order for us to achieve this amount of GDP contribution, we would have to create the pipeline of new companies. And Code sit at the center of this vision, where we try to create the pipeline of technology startups and technology companies. And as you know, there is a lot of challenges and difficulties that usually entrepreneurs face, especially at the beginning, at the first steps of this journey. So Code exists because we wanted to help and enable those startups and founders to build innovative solutions that will contribute to the GDP and create more jobs for sure. And in order for us to create the pipeline of technology startups from the beginning, I mean, from idea to MVP, which is minimal viable products, to startup, to first round, to second rounds, we would need to do a lot of support to those entrepreneurs. One of these pillars is awareness. You need to raise awareness about entrepreneurship, digital innovation. So this is what we do. We do it through meetups, competitions, reports, podcasts similar to this podcast, and we talk about things about entrepreneurship and how you grow, how to start the journey of entrepreneurship. This is one. The second pillar is building the capability of entrepreneurs. One of the main reasons for failure and success for entrepreneurs is the capability of the founding team. So we focus on building the capability of the founders and founding team through trainings and other support. Third pillar is building the pipeline of technologies or solutions. And this usually does through incubations and acceleration programs as well. So we do a lot of these programs, try to give them mentorship, guidance, support, training for them to build their solution and their startups as well. Finally, the fourth pillar is help those companies to sustain them in the market. There is no benefit of helping startups and try to help them to create companies, but after that, we lose them and we don't continue supporting it. So we continue the supports and we make sure they're sustainable in the ecosystem. And we do all these programs. It's around 50 plus products and services that we do under 7 physical labs. So we have actual physical labs, and majority of them are within universities. These are 7 labs around the kingdom, 3 of them in Riyadh and 1 in Abha, 1 in Jeddah, 1 in Al Qasim and 1 in Al Hassan, trying to be very close to those talents within university. The ecosystem of universities is mature, it's already connected. So we wanted to start very early on, educate people about entrepreneurship. So sorry, I'm taking too much time here to explain Code, but at the end, it's at the center that help entrepreneurs to build innovative digital solutions and help them sustain them and grow them within our ecosystem. I forgot to mention one of the main goals behind what we do is also to increase female entrepreneurs and participation in this field. The good thing, Richard, is Saudi female participation in tech industry raised from 7% in 2018 to be 35% in 2023. A level of higher than average of European Union and also the growth of G20 and Silicon Valley as well. So it's a good percentage of female entrepreneurs and tech talents now participating in our ecosystem. So this is also one of the key objectives that we're trying to achieve through our programs and services as well.
Kind of explain also how you're working alongside the other organizations. I mean, because you're looking to develop SMEs, you also have MCIT, and then you have government funds from, some backed by the PIF and others. Can you kind of explain where you fit in the ecosystem?
Absolutely. So there's a big value of chain, and each one will play a good role for a specific ecosystem. So Now we have SME Authority, which is Muncha today, that focus on supporting and accelerating the growth of the whole entrepreneurship ecosystem, whether it's tech and non-tech. So they support actually tech startups and non-tech startups. So they do pretty much similar programs, but also for non-tech startups. We have also the Garage, which is the biggest physical labs and incubators for all entrepreneurs here. Like the biggest in MENA, actually. It's similar to Station F in France and Paris and other similar centers. We have also MISC Entrepreneurship. They also build other programs. And we have other funds that continue the journey and try to grow and sustain those startups as well. So we have JADA, we have by PIF, which is Public Investment Fund. We have also Sanabil. It's a VC also by PIF as well. We have Saudi Venture Capital. It's a government entity to support also the growth. It's a fund of funds to support the growth of investment ecosystem here in the kingdom. So we have too many government enablement provided to our entrepreneurs, both local and international as well. But we sit at the heart of focus on technology specifically and trying to create the pipeline of future technology startups, deep tech, emerging technologies, gaming, what we call them, underserved domains and domains that need a lot of support, maturity. And this is the role of government today to enable these sectors and stimulate the growth within these ecosystems and hopefully to have more and more startups in the future.
So, and it is interesting because there are a number of players in the field and doing different aspects or similar aspects. So, finding a way to integrate and coordinate and participate with each other is important. Take us through, if you're an entrepreneur and you have an idea, how would code move them through? So you talk about awareness. So you're out there telling, engaging with audiences and young people, if they're young, could be anybody, about, the possibility of it. But for example, your 7 labs throughout the kingdom, how would a young entrepreneur or any entrepreneur plug in and take advantage of what code is offering?
Absolutely. So we have stages. So if you, let's say, I'm going to take the stage of you just starting knowing about entrepreneurship. So you're a student at one of university that we exist at, and you saw code and the offering that they offer. You can come in at our centers and you ask the team if you have an idea, for example, to build a digital solution that fixes a specific problem. We will give you all the products that fits your need at this stage. For example, let's say you're at the idea stage and trying to build your MVP, which is the second step for us. So idea to MVP to startup to first round, and then second round and third round. So this is how we structure our journey. So let's say you're at the first stage, you come in, let's say you need support. So we have mentorship for you. Let's say you want to take mentors to help you to know what's needed for you, technology needed for you to build your solutions. Let's say you need training. We have lists of training every week for you to enroll in and to learn, whether it's tech or it's business, entrepreneurship, finance, legal, recruitment, and others. We will give you, let's say, a list of our next programs. Let's say we have incubators at this stage, and it's a gaming incubators, and you're interested about gaming and you wanted to build game development, studio. So you join us. We'll enroll you to the program. If you meet the criteria again, so you have to meet the criteria that you have background in the field and you somehow, so you have a little bit of understanding of how to build gaming studios. We enroll you to this program. Let's say you need an office space. We give you an office space for free. So all our product services are for free for all, for everyone. So let's say you need exposure. You're ready. You have started your startup, and now you need to connect with investors. So we help you to connect with investors. We have pretty much every month like a demo day where we bring investors and we bring, founders from the other side, try to connect them, link them. So we have around 50 products and services that we offer yearly to our entrepreneurs. Whether you are on idea stage or MVP stage, Mainly these products are within training, mentorship, co-working spaces, events and networking, because we believe that you will be learning from other entrepreneurs more maybe than you learn from us. That doesn't mean that we're not gonna guide you, but we believe also that exchanging knowledge and experience and network between entrepreneurs is a crucial and important value that the entrepreneurs can get when they with us. Because we have incubated startups, they have went through the journey and they know how what to do in this space. So you can learn from them, connect, and each entrepreneur needs the network, need the connection, need the support around them for them to build these solutions. I hope I answered your question, but I'm trying to give you a little bit of what we do.
No, absolutely. That's great. And this may be, you may not be able to answer this outright, but at any particular moment, how many individuals are in the pipeline? And that's from A to Z. So, at the beginning and then coming out the other end.
Yeah. So in total, we have supported around 600 startups. Those actually existing startups. Those startups are majority of them, I don't have specific numbers, but around they just started their startups and they wanted to lock their first round. This is the majority of our audience. The second audience that we have, startups who are already closed their first round of investment and they wanted to close the second round. And we have a lot of people usually attend our events. We have, we calculate the numbers. We have supported more than 13,000 startups in the past 2 years. People attended our events, whether online or physically in our labs, to learn, connect with the people. But the goal here is we move people from first stage to second stage, from idea to MVP, and we move them from MVP to startup, from startup to first round, etc. But that's exactly our goal.
And again, I would recommend this. And Lucian, you're probably very familiar with this, but the dashboard you have on the Code site, which essentially tracks, it looks like, verified startups, number of VC investors, funding rounds, startup employees, and it's broken down by region. It's fascinating. And this, the number, it looks like, is 1,293 verified startups at the moment, and that may just be for a region, but it also breaks it down by seed round, series, A, B, C, and round size. It's really an interesting resource. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And let's, if you can segue into sort of the startup ecosystem in Saudi Arabia in general. Where is it? How healthy is it?
Absolutely. So Saudi ecosystem platform aims to give insights and data to everyone in the ecosystem. Now, whether you're investors or entrepreneurs, you would need to know who are there for you to connect with and to talk to. So let's say you are entrepreneurs and you need data of investors. So we have in this platform all the investors, and majority of the investors here in the kingdom. Also the startups in your field. Let's say you're in fintech and you need to know and startups who are in this field. You're still at the idea stage and you wanted to check if this ideas exist or not. Who is there to work with, maybe to collaborate with. So the platform meant to be a data for everyone, whether you are investor, entrepreneurs, or anyone in the ecosystem, or even government, for us to know each stage and how many startups in the pre-seed and how many startups in seed, where exactly the bottleneck and where exactly the challenges, and how can we build products to move people from stage to stage. So this is the ultimate goal behind the platform. We want it to be for everyone to use and to get data and guidance and information from it. Now, when you want to talk about the ecosystem, and this is what we're trying to achieve through this platform, we wanted to know how many startups now we have in our ecosystem. Today, so the data still need to be, it has a lot of, maybe it covers 70-60% of what's happening in ground. We launched it just last year, and we wanted to do more of it. So we have around 2,000 startups in the kingdom today. That's a really good number, and it's growing rapidly, actually. We have also a good number of investment amounts and deals. Maybe I'll start with 2020. In 2022, the kingdom has, startups in the kingdom achieved in total around almost $1 billion of total of investments, and it went on and grow rapidly comparing to the year before. It's 72% increasement comparing to the previous year. In 2023, which is just last year, the kingdom has ranked to be the first country in MENA region in terms of amount of investment. We reached $1.38 billion in terms of amount of investments, and that's what the kingdom, the first country in terms of amount of. And as you know, last year wasn't a good year for investors specifically, and this number shows how the ecosystem is growing, accelerating actually in the kingdom. And also, if you want to talk about sectors, so we have many sectors. Most of the three sectors that is pioneering in the past few years: e-commerce, logistic, and fintech. And also we have other sectors that is still growing here, and like edtech, health tech, gaming, and also we have a big focus at Code in gaming. Focusing gaming, for example, because we see the opportunity for us to build a pipeline of technology startups in gaming. The kingdom has a high population of youth, 65%, and more than 65% of the population are youth. We have very good infrastructure of internet. Kingdom ranked one of the top countries in speed of the internet. And this industry is fast. So one of the fast growing industries, $200 billion markets, even bigger than filmmaking industry. So we also focus on gaming, trying to build a pipeline of gaming studios in the kingdom. So the variety also of sectors that we're trying to accelerate and improve are a lot. Also, the kingdom is a destination for global investors as well.
Mm-hmm.
Too many VCs today are investing in our ecosystem. I mean, I'm talking about international VCs, and that's give you the credibility of how this ecosystem is mature and growing. I'll take an example here. SoftBank. SoftBank has invested on Uniphonic, one of the startups here, growing startups here in Saudi Arabia. Sequoia Capital invested in Fodix and Lean as well. Two of our startups are here as well in the kingdom. Goldman Sachs also invested in Tamara last December. And if you want to talk about number of unicorns, we have around 4 unicorns now in the kingdom, and more to come inshallah in the near future. These few numbers about gives you a highlight of the current status of the startup ecosystem in the kingdom and how it has evolved in the recent years.
I know Lucian's dying to jump in because he's very much in this space and extremely familiar and knowledgeable about it. I am curious, Abdullah, from your experience, so you have that line from sort of opening to entry to exit. What are the major sticking points? Is it finding mentors? Is it finding funding? Is it finding appropriate exits? And maybe you're I'm sure you're very proud of it. Maybe you say there's no sticking points, but from your experience, what's the sort of hardest need, most difficult need to fill?
Okay, that's a good question actually. If I want to summarize it, maybe under 3 things. One, I think it's the first important thing is access to funding. Access to funding is one of the most important challenge that usually entrepreneurs face, especially in their first steps of their journey. This funding could be support from the government, whether it's grants or loans or any supported funding, or it could be investment funding from VCs and institutional VCs. So access to funding is one of the critical and important elements for any entrepreneurs, especially in early stage startups and early stage journey. Second thing, I think is, I could say talents, access to talents, good quality of talents within startups. That's always the struggle. I mean, it's not just here in the kingdom, but also globally. Finding good talents, tech talents to join you in your journey, that's one of the hardest part. And we keep this in our consideration when we build our products and services as well. So we have few products to connect you with CTOs, few products to help you recruit from the best talents here in the kingdom. If I add another challenge that I usually see, but maybe these are not in order, but access to fund, access to talent. And third, it's access to quality of knowledge and quality of, ecosystem players, whether they are mentors or experts or, accelerators managers or name it, or experts, might be board members that you wanted to lock board members for your startups. So we saw this also one of the main challenges that usually exist, especially when you talk to startups who are who doesn't live in a big city like Riyadh. They usually wanted to connect with the best VCs, wanted to connect with the best expert, wanted to connect with the best talent out there. So these maybe three challenges that I see, that's also were the fundamental elements when we build our strategy and our initiatives and projects to support our entrepreneurs.
This is a question. My guess is you're too nice of a person and I'm too much of a diplomat to answer this, but I am interested. So you've been with MCIT for 5 years. You've been, managing the code for shorter than that, but you've seen sort of a longitudinal study of entrepreneurs coming to the door saying, here, can you help me? Can you help me? How are Saudi entrepreneurs, and are they getting more sophisticated? Have you seen a change over that period?
Yeah, actually, that's also a good question. What I have seen is every day, every month, every week, I see the rise or incremental growth of the quality of the entrepreneurs. I think this is part of the development of the ecosystem. At the beginning, 2015 or 2016, there was not a lot of expert. There is no enough successful stories maybe in the ecosystem at that time, except maybe Kareem acquisition or other examples. There's still few of them there, and as we move and as we grow, I see a lot of good quality entrepreneurs and quality expert that is joining the journey of entrepreneurship. Maybe they feel the confidence of building solution today, given that we have the vision, we have a lot of growth in different sectors. So this is one of the observation that I have seen each time, and I see good quality people and even senior, very senior people join the journey of entrepreneurship. We have entrepreneurs above 50 even joining us in our programs. Last week, I met one of the professors in the industry field. He wants us to build great solution that doesn't exist globally, solve a big issue for all humanity, actually. So he's a well-known professor, and he's wanted to join the journey, and he has done a lot of researches in the field, and now wanted to join the journey of entrepreneurship. I think that's the most important, I say, observation that I have seen. Also, the other thing I could say, the rapid change and the growth that's happening quickly here in the kingdom, it's something also Like every day, you could say new products, new support that's happening from the government. So a lot of government initiative and support are provided to entrepreneurs. So for local entrepreneurs, even international entrepreneurs and founders to come now and build something, I think it's the right time for entrepreneurs who wants to join the journey of digital innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem here. If I want to add a lot of numbers here, so the Kingdom is one of the strongest economy here, and it's the most fastest growing economy in 2022. I could say a lot of numbers, but these two observations that I have seen in the past, few years.
You mentioned earlier that the female participation is 35%. That's strong by global metrics, yes?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So still, if I compare it to European Union, it's higher than average. Also, if you want to compare it to G20 countries, it's also above average. And even if we consider Silicon Valley as one of the top mature digital entrepreneurship ecosystem globally. So I think one of the main achievements that's happening and more to come in the near future for sure. This is not the final step here. It's the female estimation. I could give two examples here, like on-ground examples. We have done like a gaming incubators program that support very early stage startup that wanted to build games, and we have done it around the Kingdom. So we have we're around five cities around the Kingdom. So we did this program and within all our labs, and we found that the majority of the participants were female. They were more than 70% of the participants of this program were female. And I attended the demo days that usually comes at the end of this program, and I saw the quality and the level of creativity and level of passion of building, games, innovative games. I was surprised with the quality. We're not talking about numbers, even with the quality of output that I'm seeing now from female entrepreneurs. It's incredible.
Everything's sort of happening in Riyadh these days, but there is a lot of tech that is coming out of some of these other areas like Jeddah, and Hunger Station was founded in Al Khobar, so like it's kind of all over. And we sort of touched on it earlier, like if you're an aspiring entrepreneur here and you've got a great idea, then you actually have some steam behind you, like you can get it into the market or without taking any VC money. Are you seeing those entrepreneurs come to Riyadh to launch more often than not, or are you seeing them sort of organically bubble up all over and then just see where they go from there?
A good question, actually, and this is ties to the previous question. I told you about gaming program that we did in different cities. We were surprised with the quality of people who joined us. So usually in other cities besides Riyadh, you would see a lot of good talents. Majority of them are in very early stages, but they're all trying to build something. I know the ecosystem in Riyadh is way bigger, given that all VCs, government supports are mainly targeting Riyadh, given that this is the biggest city in the Kingdom. But also I've seen the good quality of talents in Jeddah and Dammam and Al-Hassa as well. Usually entrepreneurs, they start at their first steps within our labs in Jeddah, Al-Qasim or Abha or Al-Hassa. And then once they reach to the investment stages where they wanted to get more investors, they usually either move or sometimes try to connect here and pretty much move on and back between two cities. This is what's happening now. We have a lot of startups incubated in our labs, for example, in Jeddah, and usually they come to Riyadh every month or every 2 months trying to connect with the ecosystem here. Riyadh still is the biggest city. It's has all the majority of the VCs are here in Riyadh, so capital are here. Good if you wanted to hire like a good advisors and experts, you should be around here. So I see the advantages of also hiring people from other cities like Jeddah or Al Qasim or Abha, given that those universities have a good quality of output happening there. But I agree with you, and this is natural. The capital usually has the majority of the ecosystem players, whether they are VC or expert and others.
Yeah, because I know that KAUST has just an incredible pipeline of deep tech, and they're trying to get it in the market. And actually, a recent, I guess it was a royal decree from His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, effectively said, let's start getting this stuff into the market. You guys are doing some really incredible work up here, but a challenge is that it's kind of far from Riyadh and other actual ecosystems. KAUST is just kind of more remote. And I guess a sort of follow-up question to the one that I just asked, and we can kind of wrap up with this, but and I think Richard would agree with this. It's what you guys are doing is not just developing the ecosystem, the entrepreneurship ecosystem, it's the whole ecosystem. And it's, you touched on it earlier, it's things like, $18 billion, I think, into data centers and sort of putting into place all of these things, free zones. And we spoke with Dr. Basma Al-Buhayran from the Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution over at CAST. Can you talk about, just, I guess, to wrap it up, how important those larger pieces are outside of the entrepreneurship ecosystem to kind of just, attract the international money and talent and companies here and to lean in and go all in into relocating here?
Absolutely. So there is, as I said in the beginning, there is too many ecosystem players and enablers as we're working with us to support the segment. So at Code, we support 80% of our focus of entrepreneurs, which is the main ecosystem players today. But we also support investors, accelerators managers, fund managers, mentors, experts, advisors, and more. And also a lot of initiatives happening outside of Code as well, whether it's free zones, whether it's funds. So we have national technology development programs. This fund aims to support also the acceleration of this industry through funding support to entrepreneurs as well. We have Al Garage, we have MISC Entrepreneurship as well. We have a lot of initiative to also improve the regulation for startups and VCs. We also have a lot of more than 47 VC today licensed and operating in Riyadh. And we have new VCs also coming to the kingdom. And speaking of international VC and entrepreneurs, we have seen the rapid change, also the growth of VC coming to the kingdom. And last year at LEAP, we have announced few funds that started here in the kingdom, and also hopefully this year we'll be announcing more VC establishing their operation here in the kingdom. If you want to talk about entrepreneurs, we have 4 products today and that specifically support international founders to come to the kingdom. The first program, it's by KAUST, which specifically focus on deep tech startups. It's a soft landing program for early stage startup that focus on to build solution within deep tech technologies. They give them the support for them to legally set up here in the kingdom and pave the way for them to succeed. The other initiative is it's by The Garage. Garage, as I said, is one of the biggest physical location incubators for entrepreneurs in MENA region. And it's also support soft landing for soft landing startups and founders to come to the kingdom. Also, Code has a program called CodeGate. CodeGate is a soft landing program to support international startups and founders, specifically from pre-seed to pre-series A. So specifically in deep tech, space tech, and gaming and other technology. Fourth initiatives is by NTDB, National Technology Development Program. They have an initiative called Relocate. It's also soft landing, but it's also focused on a Series A and above startups. So for any startups above Series A, they're welcome to join this initiative. And leverage the financial support through this initiative. And more to come for sure in the near future, but a lot of movements today happening toward international founders and VCs to come to the kingdom. Beside the information I explained previously, how's the kingdom today is strong in terms of economy and the growth, the demand, the population, and more, and the consumption here happening in the kingdom. There is a lot of also enablement supports toward international companies. 30% of our participants in our acceleration programs are international startups and founders. So they're also welcome to join any one of our accelerators or join CodeGate program to get the legal support and other 5 incentives that we give through this initiatives as well.
And inshallah, I'll see you on Wednesday at the garage for the hackathon. Abdullah Alshamrani, General Manager of the Center of Digital Entrepreneurship, known by the acronym CODE, at the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology. Abdullah, thank you so much. And also, you guys have LEAP coming up in just a few weeks as well. So we'll look forward to that. Thanks so much for your time. This was wonderful.
Same here. Thank you so much. Thank you.